Hey everybody, welcome back to Comics Only, the only podcast where comedians talk with other comedians. My guest today is a comedian, writer, and child sex enthusiast, Justin Kirshner.
How dare you call me out for? I told you that was one of the things we weren't supposed to discuss prior to that thing. The charges haven't been finished yet, so technically it's not on the books.
Good job, saying that, buddy. My new bit for this podcast is I start off by saying something terrible about my guest, and if they're like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" It's just like, do you not know how to guess and?
I know. They don't know improv.
Just get
Improv and comedy are two very different skills. You can see, like, I've gone to a few of the improv stuff, like, they have a few little improv theaters around town.
Yeah.
And it's generally not the same group of people doing both.
No. But the comics who have a lot of improv background are usually very impressive to me.
You know what I don't get with improv is there's like levels, right?
Yeah.
You get certificates depending on the level, like a belt in karate or something.
Yeah.
And I don't understand exactly what constitutes you the next level.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Is it like, oh no, that comeback was really good? Like, are you just you get more witty and snappy?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that's like, all right, here's your third level. And
I know, right?
These
you were quicker that time. That's
these
so
aren't
dumb.
Like improv classes. These aren't accredited credentials. This isn't like a degree from Harvard where it's like it means something. I mean, I guess if you went to like one of those big, like the Growlings, where all those big, or one of the big famous ones in Chicago or New York or something like that, then I'd be like, okay, well that means something because some of the biggest names come.
Yeah.
But
I'm positive there is structure to it. It's just not that different than, say, like a religion or whatever.
I know.
It's like, we just made it up.
But you know what's funny? It's similar in the sense that it's different from comedy, but it's similar in the sense where you're just kind of making your own shit up as you. It's more in the moment because we pre-work everything.
Yeah.
But I find it so weird that, like, there's nothing in comedy like that. There's no one like, all right, you're a comic level 2 because you've done X, Y, and Z. It's
not really. Credits are way different, right?
Oh yeah, credits.
There's like how you get like reputation in comedy is way different. It's not like you pass a class and know you're like a better In fact, most comics hate on comedians that take classes.
How do you feel about those classes, by the way? I
have mixed feelings.
Me too, because I understand, like, okay, they teach you what, setup, punchline, basic comic joke structure, or whatever, and then they give you some stage time too. Which
you get a class. Or a show, you get a show.
Yeah.
Or like, if you do the one at Stir Crazy, dude, you might do a sold-out show at Stir Crazy.
Yeah.
Which is a cool opportunity for a new comic. So there's value in that. There's like, I don't know, I have such mixed feelings about it, because...
But is anybody funnier? And I don't mean to throw any shade to anybody who actually teaches class, but I mean, like, anybody who wasn't funny beforehand, did all of a sudden the class, like, snapped with them?
A class cannot teach you to be funny. And it can't teach you anything that you won't get from doing 6 weeks of open mics.
That's true.
Period. But they're like, I think what we forget sometimes, maybe straight white men or whatever, is that like maybe there's people that need like easier ways in than the open mic scene. Dude, the open mic scene here,
it's rough. but of all of the like arts, like comedy is the most accessible.
Yeah.
With music, you got to learn how to play something before you even do an open mic. With acting, you got to have somebody let you act.
The only way you can practice is going on stage in front of people.
Go to a dive bar, with 5 people. You do that for 3-4 months. You're gonna get more out of that.
That's how you should start comedy.
Yeah,
you should go perform for 7 people in the worst bar you can find.
I feel like you get more out of that than taking a comedy class for a couple months. Or how does that even?
I think so too. I think it is a couple months about.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I've never like, I believe wholeheartedly you have to come out in the shit with us. The way to be the funniest is to come out in the horrible rooms and try to prove yourself there. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing more impressive than watching somebody kill in like what you know to just be a horrible shit box of a room.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, this guy is a comedy god. It's way more impressive than watching somebody do good at a club. It's more impressive than anything.
I think you need that for your sense of delusion, because comics need a base level of delusion to do this, because it sucks.
Yes.
A lot of it. And do it for years to be like, why don't I just get a regular job that's, consistent, and I don't feel like want to drive.
Or just quit.
Or I don't want to
working.
I don't want to take my car off the 10 on the way home from an open mic. You know how that feeling is. You're like, Jesus, I bombed in front of nobody. But it's funny because I made that joke to you about the good crowd at the show the other night.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's like that because I feel like you don't get as much out of that, even if you do well, than when you go and you eat shit at a dive bar in front of 5 comics and 3 or 4 drunk guys that don't even want you to be there. Let's be completely honest. You're interrupting their getting drunk time.
I truly believe that.
Yeah.
I'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. So, like, I think it's important to have gone up in such horrible situations that nothing can really faze you.
Yeah. That being said, if you're running a show, don't brag about how hard that room is as like a good thing.
Yeah,
That's so many, like, why is that a selling point? Like, you're like, it's tough. You're gonna get your shit kicked in. You know, like, why? I thought you were trying to get me to be on this. The whole point of it is like, no.
You know what? Never mind. I'm not doing your show.
Yeah. By the way, everybody speaks Spanish and they don't want to talk to you. And I'm like, I'm the whitest white person going up into an all Hispanic room, and they're just like trying to watch the game or some shit. It's really loud in there. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I've seen a couple guys do that. They're like, this is like one of those. They call it. I've heard a guy call it a gauntlet room. Which is like,
I fucking hate
this isn't a Harry Potter book, dude. It's like,
hate comedians.
I know. It's like, dude, no, these are the. No, I think what he thinks it is like what we were talking about, like gauntlet by just doing shitty open mics, and that's the gauntlet itself. But he's like specifically saying like, no, this room I want it to be tough, so that way it builds like character. I don't know. Like,
great.
Like, why would you advertise that to a comic? No comic is going to be happy.
There's plenty of bad rooms without trying for them.
I'm worried enough about bombing as it is.
Yeah. He's like, it's a tough room, not a lot of civilians there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Calling...
Fucking hell, dude.
I've seen even, like, professional comics do that, call them civilians. Like,
so dumb.
I don't get... Like, I understand there's a difference between comics and normal people.
I call them non-comics. That's easy enough for me.
Just people, like, I don't know, you didn't serve, dude. Like, who did you kill?
Civilians.
Civilian.
It's so tough, dude.
Especially outside of Luke Air Force Base or something right there at Lucy's. Look at all these...
Do you think there was a lot of military people at the show the other night?
Yeah, I mean, they have a good chunk. And then they have, not only that, but military housing right down the road. You see like that.
Sure.
Which, I don't know, it seems kind of like a compound. It seems uncomfortable to live there.
Of course.
Because it's all gated. And I understand, it's right next to the Air Force Base. It's military leaders and whatever. But it's like all gated. It's all high cement houses. All the houses are like, probably like 1 or 2 bedrooms, but they're like the new development builds where it's like, I can reach out my window and touch, like,
hate that.
the next thing. But I feel like you can't leave.
Yeah.
Like at night, it says hours of operation from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or whatever. But are you allowed to just come and go freely from those things?
Probably. I hope so, dude. I'm never going to the military, so I'll tell you that.
You're not gonna do a late in life run. Who knows?
That would be a cool move. Join when you're like 40. And you know what? I feel like it.
What's his face?
Steven
Matt.
Seagal?
No, Matt just joined the Navy.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Uncle Chow! I
Uncle
saw
Chow just
that.
joined the Navy.
Dude, isn't he a lawyer?
He was. I think he worked at a law firm for a while.
What is going on, dude?
I don't know. He could be maybe working for NCIS doing the Navy law. You saw that show? That was a good.
I didn't, Justin. But, I'll take your word for it.
There's way too many naval-based crimes. Okay, there's like
all that shit is so like the police shows that have like 20 spin-offs.
Yeah.
You're like, enough!
I know.
Who is this for?
I just saw a hilarious joke about it because Blue Bloods, that show's ending after 14 years.
Damn. Okay.
And somebody was along the line said something like, "Yeah, we want to congratulate Blue Bloods for a nice 14-year run and for nobody ever actually seeing an episode of the show." And it's true. It's like Blue Bloods was like, it's always that thing that's just on TV.
Yeah.
Or you go to your grandparents' house and you're like, why are you watching Blue Bloods? Like, there's nothing else on TV at noon on a fucking Tuesday. So,
Yeah. Law and Order.
Special Victims Unit and stuff like that.
CIS.
And NCIS or like, but it's like, it's so, especially when they're like specific in the city. Like they did 100 spinoffs, so they've done it in like every major city. Like they did one NCIS in New Orleans. I'm like, but it was like and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fun, crazy stuff you can do in New Orleans, but it was like every week there was like a terrorist event in New Orleans that they had to fucking.
Jesus.
I was like, New Orleans isn't like you should deal with the gangs. Like this
Right,
is terrorist, bro.
Who would be doing the crimes?
Yeah, there's a lot of murder in Louisiana.
And none of it's terrorism.
No, we got this guy who might be bringing in yellow cake uranium to fucking in the port before Mardi Gras, and of course the streets are packed and stuff. I gotta be honest with you though, I'm a huge sucker for hour-long medical shows. I don't know what it is.
Nip and Tuck.
Oh, Nip Tuck was fucking great.
Okay,
But like,
I
no,
don't know any.
well, no, like, you know, ER, House, all of those shows that are hour long about the
I watched
good
a lot
doctor.
of House growing
Even
up.
when they're bad, I love it for some reason. I don't know what it is, and I know what's coming. Because this is how every medical drama...
It's the scrubs. You like women in scrubs.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It makes sense.
I can
to
just
me.
Google that. I don't need to
Dude,
watch House for that.
One time when I was a drug addict, this guy I knew showed up in my house and he was wearing scrubs and he had a bag full of like pill bottles and he was like, "Hey man, I need to come inside." I was like, "Sure, dude, come on in." And we get in my house and he's in scrubs and he starts pulling all these pill bottles out of his bag. I'm like, "Hey man, did you go in a hospital?" And he's like, yeah, dude, it was the craziest thing. I stole this nurse's ID. And I was like, you know what, I think I could get in there. And so I got some scrubs, and I went in, I grabbed every pill bottle I could see in 5 minutes, and then I ran out of there. I was like, you are the craziest motherfucking person.
That is a fantastic Netflix series.
Dude.
I would... Dude, you know what would be even funnier? All of it's, like, not fun. It's like blood pressure medication. And
Yeah, it was so crazy
Just for
to
a
me.
thyroid condition. It's like nothing to get you fucked up.
Oh, dude, half of it was useless,
Yeah,
dude.
like-
He didn't look.
Like you just stole 12 bottles of ibuprofen.
There
dude.
was, dude, like only like 4 of the bottles were shit you would want.
Oh my
He
God.
did grab a full bottle of Oxycontin.
Isn't there a pharmacist there that like run? I know there's.
He just went into different patients' rooms. Oh, like he just grabbing pills.
Who's gonna say anything? That's fucking. That's some Nurse Jackie shit, dude.
Dude, he's so crazy.
That is awesome. That you
Yeah.
just pulled some sort of heist. You just walking into a
I was like thinking about it because at the time I had just been like getting really into shoplifting. I was like, that's like the most intense version of shoplifting you could possibly do. Going to steal drugs out of a hospital.
He had to steal an ID. This is some
He
like
stole an ID.
Ocean's 11
He stole like
nonsense.
a backpack out of somebody's car or something, and that thing was in there.
But wait a minute. From what I know, it's like in hospitals for like pain meds, they just inject that shit into you. It's not so. It's not like they give you like 2 morphine pills. I'm like they just shoot you up. With
Not
morphine.
always.
Do they give you like? Do they give you a full bottle that they just leave and you pop at your convenience?
I'm not,
I know you're not the right person to be asking about that.
I don't think he was making his story up. There's no other explanation that makes sense.
It was
to
too
me.
ridiculous for it to not be true.
Right. It was like he would have like. There's no other explanation for how he would come up with that many pill bottles, and they were all different names. So I believe,
Yeah. Was there ever a situation back in the day where you felt like I could get shot or die?
Oh
In this
yeah, dude, my
situation.
house got shot up. I'll pull up the news article about
When
it.
was this?
2015-ish.
Was it like just a random?
No, dude. This guy that I knew, had like issues with already, kind of.
How are you
Offered to, okay, this is a long story, but I'm going to tell you the whole thing because
Okay.
the whole thing is really good.
Cool.
My ex-girlfriend fucked this guy I was working with, like cheated on me with him, and he had just finished cropping out like 30 pounds of weed. And I had a friend of mine who, the guy I started doing meth with, his main thing was robbing grow houses. So I just told him where his grow house was, and he robbed it, and he sold 30 pounds of weed.
Jesus.
So, I know, it's so crazy. And he owed me money, so he just gave me the 30 pounds. He was like, this is my payment to you, we're even. I was like, we're so much more than even.
But what are you gonna do with 30 pounds of fucking weed?
I was like kind of dealing weed at the time already.
Still, you're not
I mean,
Pablo Escobar, dude. Like,
I
that's a lot of
filled
weed.
the closet and had weed to sell. And so this guy offered to trade me a car for a pound of weed, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" Like now I have a car, another car,
And 35 pounds of weed. That's fucking good.
Shit. And so we get up there, and me and this dude have kind of had issues before, and I give him the weed, and I start driving the car away, and it like breaks down like 5 minutes later. I'm like, this motherfucker, like he did this on it. I'm just like, he's fucking me over, and like he will not answer my call or text me back or anything. But as soon as my girlfriend's like, hey, I want to suck your dick, come back here, he like shows up.
Naturally.
So I took my weed back at gunpoint, and he shot up my house the next day.
my god, dude.
18 bullets through the house.
Jesus
It
Christ.
was crazy. My girlfriend woke up and was like screaming at me. She's like, what the fuck are you shooting at? I was like, they're shooting at us. She's like standing yelling at me while bullets are flying past. It was so crazy.
She could have got shot in the head just screaming at you.
Yeah. Right, yeah. And I'm on the floor, like, hiding.
I feel like you should make a little, like, web show of just, like, the stories of those crazy
I wrote
times.
a book about it. I need to, like, talk to, like, a professional editor or somebody that's, like, dealt with publishing shit before, and somebody who, like, is interested in reading it and being like, all right, you need to cut this. It may seem important to you, but it's not really adding to the story. Like, it's kind of just I wrote kind of just exactly how it happened. So, like, there's probably a lot of shit that doesn't really need to be in there. That just, like, I was like, oh, that's true. I'll put that in there.
How long would that be, the book?
I forget how many words. I think I wrote 100,000 words, and from what I've read, that would be like an absurdly long novel. So
you got to do the old trick where you just make every other page a chapter, so it tricks people into thinking like, oh, I'm good. I'm like 15 chapters in. You're only like 20 pages into that thing.
It'd be cool to get something published, though. Do you know Sam Talon is? You do?
Yeah, I know him.
He wrote a book.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of comics wrote books. It's weird.
Yeah. And his book, like, he says it changed his life. It ended up being, like, a bestseller. I was at a show one time of his, and he was like, so I wrote a book, and nobody applauded. He's like, yeah, it's super easy to write a New York Times bestseller. Everybody starts clapping, and he's like, no, don't fake enthusiasm now.
It's true. Like, from what I heard, like, the numbers to get a New York Times is so low.
It's not hard.
It was, like, in the 1920s, it was probably way higher because more people were buying physical books and, like, new stuff, but, like... No, it's like, oh, he sold 50,000 books. That's a #1 bestseller. I'm like, that doesn't seem like that many fucking books.
Yeah. I mean, 50,000 is a shitload of books when you think about how many people read.
Yeah,
who reads? I don't read.
You don't read?
Really?
I like to read.
I like to read in theory, but I just never, like, in practice, like, really.
I don't know. I don't like it when I've had a few women who have got given me shit for not reading enough. And when I find out what they read, I'm like, you're not... They're reading, like, fairy smut. Yeah. And, like, those, like, weird fan... Like, that's not... You're not reading fucking...
I read on Reddit.
You're not reading a philosophy textbook or the history of the Vietnam War. Like, it's nothing relevant, but they're like, I read all the time. You're just reading pornography. Yeah. Watching two fairies and an elf go at it.
That's why I'm dating men now.
Is it easier for you?
Yeah.
Women do that all the time.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've heard women just be like, when they're having bad relationships or they just like get fucked over by a few bad men, they're like, I'm just going to try women.
Yeah. Dude.
Nobody ever calls them out on that.
You know what? I think probably a lot of women just like have sex with women now.
Yeah, it's true.
Like
it's just a casual thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's always been.
My cousin the other day at dinner was like, I think I'm over straight, man. I was like, cool, fuck me.
I get it.
I'm not that, I'm not. Really wanted to fuck my cousin, Justin.
Look,
now I have no chance.
Now you're and look, women, I get it if you don't have sex with men. I am surprised anytime anybody wants to have sex with men or me.
Me specifically.
Like, why?
Yeah. Some men I really understand.
So much better. I'm just a smooth talker, I guess. It ain't because I'm so, my chiseled jawline or my baby blues, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get it, but I've had a few, like, it's always gay is, you're born gay, right? Until you have 2 or 3 bad dicks, and then all of a sudden, let's just, try women. Right. And then lesbians aren't going to call them out because they want to have sex with these women. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
What it is. These people, these arrogant white women that go up and they try that. I don't know.
Now we're getting into what this podcast is all about. Let's talk about that.
Now that Trump's in office, let's really get into it, all right? Now that we're going to be safe from... No. I've just heard that before, and I was like, it's not... And every time they do it, they're like, I'm asking... Even, like, bisexual women I've seen, I was like, would you ever... They're like, I'll be with a woman, but I don't think I'll ever date a woman. Yeah,
but then you fuck one guy and no woman ever wants to have sex with you again. Yeah. So,
no, that's the joke. Well, I try to figure something. It's like all women claim to be bisexual, but all bisexual women have boyfriends.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've even dated a few bisexual women who've never actually like dated a woman. They've been with women, but they've never actually said. And I think it's because they're afraid to tell people. But it's like it's not that big.
I know multiple comics in Oregon. This is gonna get me in some trouble. I'm excited. I'm so excited to say it. There's multiple comics in Oregon I know that claim they're bisexual, but so they get on all the like LGBTQ shows, and then I've only ever seen them date women. Yeah. Or be interested in women. It's like, cool guys. So aren't you? You're super bisexual, huh?
I don't. Isn't. what's the point?
I guess
is it just to say you're part of that community?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know.
I think in order for a man, if you're gonna say you're bisexual, you have to publicly fuck a man. Okay, you want to?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, look, I've been saying that a lot, Justin.
Publicly,
we're on the same page. I've been, my buddy, one of the comics I know specifically is a good friend of mine, and I constantly give him shit about this. And he's like, "What? Do you want me to suck a guy's dick in front of you?" I was like, "It would help."
Yeah, I believe you. I would definitely believe you.
I know you couldn't fake that.
I wonder if there are any comics that have lied about that to get on more shows.
Somebody accused me of lying about meth use for comedy, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm taking on the stigma of being a meth addict so that I can bomb at these
There's
shitty
so
open
many
mics
better, cooler
with these
things.
horrible meth jokes that nobody likes."
Yeah, it's not like I'm fucking destroying this hour-long room.
Are there like a lot of shows for meth addicts specifically?
You know what I found funny? I had an interaction one time. I don't know if he was a meth addict or crack. I don't know. Is there you guys would be like, no, we're not them, or is there like?
Oh, for sure, there's a difference.
Okay.
But
do you think you're better than
crack's just not. No. I think it's worse. Probably crack's probably pretty dope. Crack's like really, really pure cocaine, which is.
I've heard good things.
Dude, I've heard really good things, dude. When I was 20, I worked at this state park on the island I lived on. And these guys from Eureka, California were staying at this park while they built a house.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, they were like, "Man, crack's the best. You gotta shoot it up." Like,
these psychos,
dude. So they were like,
no, because here's what it is. He was so brazen about it. I was at a bar by my house, this little dive bar, with a girl I was dating at the time, and we were just there hanging out, having drinks.
Yeah.
And we saw this bigger guy came up and sat right to the right of us. Mm-hmm. And it was like we were on the corner of the bar, so we could kind of see each other.
Yeah.
And we were just chatting with the guy, and we noticed he had a hospital band on. Like
Okay,
he was at the that's a bad sign. Coming to the bar,
red flag.
Not only that, as he was ordering a drink, he was reaching in and peeling off the like heart defibrillator stickers and shit and like crumbling them up and putting them on the table. And then this guy starts just casually talking to us about like doing crack. He's like, "Yeah, I do crack. I work at a Jeep Miller Hyundai or whatever by the freeway." And he was just casually talking to us about like, "Yeah, I like do crack. It's good. It's fun." He's like, "Do you guys want to come over and do some?" And me and the girl, I was like, "No, we're good." And then,
I don't think I do.
No, and he kept trying to get us to come over, and then at one point he makes a phone call to his roommate, and he goes, "Hey, yeah, hey, I'm gonna be home in a little bit. Do you mind leaving a rock on the dresser for me? Just leaving a rock? Okay, yeah, cool." Like it was casual. Like he said, you know, "You might just leaving the back door open, and or leave it unlocked. I'll be home in like 5 minutes."
It can be pretty casual.
But he was trying to get me and my girlfriend to go and smoke crack with him.
I just wanted a buddy.
Oh my god. This is the most untrustworthy person. And he gave us his number in case we wanted to go buy a car. And it was so funny because
tweakers are.
I was hanging out with my girlfriend like 2 weeks later. And she came over. And she was trying to pull something out of her purse, and she still had the guy's fucking number in the purse.
You're like, "What the fuck?"
No, I knew. I was like, "I know you're not trying to fuck. If you are, that's on you, not me."
Yeah, we're so dumb.
You're not going to beg a crack addict who just got out of the hospital. His first thought is, "I need to go to a dive bar and start drinking." And he was already 3 or 4 drinks in.
You never know, buddy.
I mean, he was a confident man. I give it to him.
I know.
But I was like,
my ex wants some dude she should not fuck. I remember being so mad. You're like, "You cheated on me with a homeless guy. What the fuck?"
That's bad.
It's insane. I need to bring that. I have jokes about that.
It's always bad to get cheated on, but getting cheated on below you. Yeah. That's why women I feel like get really hurt when men cheat, because men generally cheat below.
You know what she said to me? She was like, "That's just a circumstance." Like, yeah, not a good one.
So it's not even that you were attracted to him. It was just right place, right time. Like, what the fuck?
I think she was I think she was talking about like him being homeless. That's just a circumstance.
Oh, yeah, terrible decisions. Yeah, that's
right. Yeah.
Did you like him?
Yeah, dude.
God, well, okay.
Like he robbed us.
That guy's gotta have game though.
A lot of game, dude. Dre had game.
There's no way a homeless dude's fucking a housed woman and.
No. Dre had a lot of game for sure, dude.
I mean, to convince. Like, I wonder if he just doesn't say that he's homeless and he starts tries to
let's start with my ex was on a scale of 1 to 10, like 15 level crazy.
Oh,
like, she's the craziest person. Like, and I know. And then once we're on meth, that's just like she's already before the meth insane, and then with the meth, it was just too much. So that's like most of the problem. Like but he did have a lot of game. He used to tell us how he would, like, one day he's at our apartment and he's making a shot in a syringe of meth. He's, like, mixing it up and getting it to mill. And he's like, I'm going to go downtown and give a bitch a booty whap. So instead of shooting him up, you put it in the butt. It's like, it gets pussy wet. I was like, whoa, dude.
Only horrible people can figure that out.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to give a bitch a fat booty whap.
That doesn't
It's
seem like
so
biologically correct. Like, you inject that into her ass and it just turns her on.
When you couldn't shoot up, that's what you do. It's
I saw this video of a guy in New York City that didn't have an apartment, but he never lived outside because he would constantly go to bars and hit on women and try and convince them to sleep and let him come back to their place. He's like, I don't know why anybody will even pay rent in this city. It's so fucking easy to get laid. And this goofy fucking, I don't know how he does it. Maybe he's lying.
He's gotta be.
I think he's lying a little bit. I think maybe a couple times a year he might convince some lowly, tourist, at a bar or some shit.
Yeah, sure.
Like, let's go back to your hotel.
But like,
no, he's trying to make it seem like every night he's getting some, so he doesn't have to afford New York. And like, he wasn't that good looking.
okay, let's just start. Assuming that's even true, dude. I do not want my life to be going from woman's house to woman's house.
The pressure.
Oh my god, dude.
That's just like, okay, well,
I want my own space.
it's not even about getting laid at that point. So it's raining out tonight, so I better find somebody. Better try and get laid tonight, otherwise I'm gonna get fucking frostbite.
Yeah.
That's such a weird situation to be in.
I had a different homeless guy really liked my ex and was always hitting on her, and like, he was like, we should fuck, and she's like, Eric would like kick me out, and he was like, oh, I know a place we could stay.
Dude,
he's a homeless guy. It's like, whoa, where's that? Like in a tent.
I got a little hole over here.
She was like, no, dude.
Have you been downtown lately with the tent city?
Dude,
it's like, okay. So I went to a Diamondbacks game with my brother and my nephew, and they just moved it 2 blocks from where it was previously.
Really?
They didn't get rid. Yeah, that's all they did because the businesses around them were complaining about how bad it gets. So they just moved it to a little more desolate part where less people are going to complain about.
Less business.
But it's literally, it's on Jackson, dude. It's like 5 minutes from the stadium where the Diamondbacks play, and we're driving home, and the route that the thing took us was through that thing because obviously the GPS doesn't know it's a fucking Mad Max area. So we're going.
Well, it should. I hope you reported it.
I can put it on.
Like, Tent City, please reroute somewhere else.
Look at this. So yeah, like I said, me and my brother, my nephew sitting in the back.
Yeah.
We're driving up, and we're seeing all the tents of Shantytown. Some of them were a couple stories.
Okay.
Some of them were 2-story. Like, this is better than what I have. I don't like this. And it was 2 stories. And as we're getting to the corner just to turn and get away from all this shit.
Yeah.
There's just a woman in short shorts, titties out, in the middle of the street, dude, just walking. I mean, they weren't great. They were, they were meth tits.
I know. I was kidding. I was joking.
But I was like, literally just walking, and this is 5 p.m., dude. The sun is out, and standing in the middle of the my brother had to go around him because she was just like nodding off, shirtless, dude. That's how crazy. And I don't know if they're gonna do anything about it again, or even if it's gotten worse since because that was a few months ago.
Yeah.
And once they start congealing downtown, because apparently there's a benefits or like a with that work. What are they called? Unemployment offices right downtown.
Okay.
So in the morning when you go right by there's like a line out the fucking door. People just trying to find a job for,
or just trying to get paid.
Or just trying to get paid. Just get hit by a Lexus like a real American, dude. Okay, that's how you get paid in this country.
One time when I was on drugs in Seattle, it was like 10 a.m. on a Tuesday in the middle of the summer, and I looked out my apartment. There's just a homeless guy fucking a woman in the alley. It's like sunny. It was just so jarring. I was like, you're in sunlight right now. And I watched this for a second fascinated, and then all of a sudden he was just like, ah! And I came, and I was just like, oh my god, I just watched this guy came.
God, sex must have been great.
Sure. It's just kind of great in general when you're on meth. It's insane.
Yeah, I guess if you're homeless, everything is an exhibition. It's not exactly. We're always fucking behind a dumpster.
Yeah.
By a QT.
We're never inside. Yeah.
So, dude, I saw this. Do you know what that? I saw when I was driving to I was getting gas earlier, and I was at the QT. You know that safe space sign? Have you seen those? It's right under the light.
Okay.
So I looked it up. So I don't know what it's supposed to be now, but apparently that sign is supposed to indicate that at any QT in the country, you can go and drop off a child.
A baby?
A baby.
Oh my god, dude.
Um,
I thought that was only at like firehouses and police stations.
That's what I was like. Why would you think this is the best? And I didn't think it was true. Why would you think this is the best place, like a fucking 18-year-old, like to just drop off your child? And yeah, and let me get a pack of Newports too.
I got the best idea, Justin.
Okay,
let's get a doll and a bassinet or some sort of like baby carrier thing, and just be like, well, it said I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah.
And film it, see what they do.
What would you do?
This sounds like great content.
You're a 20-year-old guy working at QT just to make some extra cash.
I call him 911.
Of course. So why are we putting the shitty middle?
That's a good point. Let's not do this, right?
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Did you just want to get taquitos on the way home and you're just like, fuck it, I don't need the kid? Like, it's,
right.
It blows my mind that people think that. I mean, it's weird enough just leaving it in front of a firehouse.
That kind of makes sense to me because they have like
somebody's always there.
Somebody's always there. They have like medical shit.
And then get it to a hospital or a...
Like, it's probably close to a hospital or something like that. And they could, like, they probably know the right people to contact.
Yeah,
for whatever.
That's like
for the next step.
It's a weird...
It's way more sensible than a gas station.
It's a weird, unnecessary step. It's kind of like, you know, that lady at McDonald's that gave up the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting all this shit now.
Yeah.
The McDonald's is getting 1-star Yelp reviews. Like, who's ready to Yelp reviews?
Somebody's gonna burn it down.
Somebody probably will.
But I'm gonna quit comedy and start shooting CEOs.
There you go. You get a lot of female attention, that's for sure. Anyway, the woman didn't get the money because she called the police instead of the tip line.
Yeah, fuck her.
So I was like, but if I just saw like an assassin,
yeah.
Why would I? Because all the tip line's going to do is call the cops, right? They're going to call the local authorities. So they're like, why would I add an extra step?
It's probably just a way that it's something like it's just a trick they use to not pay people. Yeah. Right.
It bothers me that they're like every time this happens, it's like if he's good looking, people are much more forgiving. Like if he's semi-attractive.
Welcome to the world, Justin.
People wanted to fuck Dahmer.
It's never going to be good for guys like us.
I know.
Okay?
Well, speak for yourself. Fucking uggo. I'm gorgeous. I don't care what you say. No, but you know what I mean? It's like, women will, like, if it's like John Wayne Gacy, some fat, disgusting clown, like, ugh, like, what you doing? But if the guy was semi-attractive, I'm like, he's probably complicated. You know what I mean? Like, he's got multitudes, like all of us, you know? Yeah, he made a mistake and stuff. But here's the thing. It's the same thing with guys. You know how many times guys will have sex with women that have, like, fucking ankle monitors? And like...
My ex was insane, and she was also, as crazy as she was also that hot, and it was the problem. That was the whole problem. But I just couldn't say no, ever. Like, I just couldn't say no to her. I was like, sure, let's smoke meth. Why not? Like
wasn't it, who was it? Charles Manson got married in prison.
Right.
So like, and I saw the video, I'm like, she's a fucking bitch.
She's probably like the female version of him.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's definitely mentally ill. But this happens all the time. Every time there's like a killer that's a guy that's, you know, semi-charismatic or attractive, like he was during the trials and all that, like, women love that shit. Yeah. Because I don't know if they're like, I could fix him. Or I don't know if it's that, because guys, when they see that, it's just like, I just want to fuck her. It's just like, it's just a visceral thing, but they're like, this is going to be a problem. So we have these weird different red flags where it's like all of ours is our dick, but hers is her heart for some reason, which is dumber. Okay, which is so dumb, so dumb. Dick is easy to explain because like you do a bunch of stupid shit, you know, just being horny, but you sincerely think. Like I have no delusions. I know I'm making a mistake. Okay, like I know this is not a good idea, but I'm forfeiting all these red flags anyway. Women are like, no, this isn't a mistake. This could be.
I can fix it. That whole thing.
But I'm curious if this guy's going to start like, because like people are going to pay for his defense.
I know, it's crazy.
Even there was a video of a reporter talking outside the prison where they had him there, and for some reason they're all at the window, and she yells like, "You think Luigi should be in jail?" They're like, "No, let him out, let him out." I was like, "Why are you interviewing these fucking people? Everybody in there thinks they're innocent." Yeah. Even if you get caught on camera stabbing a man to death with your ID held up, they'll still say, "I didn't do it." Right? Like, it's just,
I work in the jails. Nobody ever did it. But trust me. Actually, sometimes people are really chill. They're like, "I did it."
Is it like Orange is the New Black in there?
How So, dude, the other day I walked into this pod, they call it. It's like just a bunch of cells or whatever. And this woman was like, "Who are you here to see? Like, who are you trying to see?" And I told them the name, and they're like, "Oh yeah, she needs help." And I was like, "Yo, shit, no."
Like, even though the inmates like, get this crazy bitch out.
And then this woman was standing kind of so I could see her pussy, I think. I'm pretty sure she was doing it on purpose. And she's smiling at me. I was like, "You guys seem fun in here." She was like, "We are fun in here." I was like,
do they try and seduce you?
Not very often. No, nobody has tried to seduce me. That was the closest anybody's gotten. I'm pretty sure she like...
More fucking with you than actually like seduce you.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they make it seem like that's a problem a lot of the time. Like male workers in the jail or male guards are fucking...
It's for sure not a problem often.
Yeah.
You know, like...
That's
people know. I did see like... this officer the other day kind of interacting with this woman in an interesting way. I was like, oh, man.
A little too friendly?
Yeah, you all seem close. Yeah. But like,
you're holding those thighs a little long.
Cameras everywhere. There's like...
But do they take it seriously if an inmate has a sexual assault claim against a guard?
Of course. Yeah,
okay.
They take it very serious.
Because I know it's different in male prisons, but it's like... It's a lot harder for I guess inmates to go against the guards, like beatings or like being too rough or doing shit that they're not supposed to.
No, I don't. I've never seen any sort of misconduct. I don't think it happens much. Like there's cameras everywhere. Everybody seems like pretty cool for the
You know what I hear more happens?
What?
The female guards fucking the male prisoners. I've heard stories about that. Like,
just like the teachers and these fucking high schoolers, man. They keep popping up.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to get off Reddit. It's not like a reliable source of news, and I treat it like one.
Maybe you need to get your teaching degree, dude.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Seems to be it. Just get your teaching degree.
Yeah. Why is it so much cooler when a woman does that, huh? I want to be cool too.
Because you know, I don't know what it is. It feels like, well, there was that story, I think this was a few years ago.
Also, it's not cool.
It's not cool, guys. Not cool.
It's not.
Not cool, wink. Not cool. But there was that story a few years ago where this older guard at this prison helped one of the inmates escape. I don't know if you remember this. She was in a romantic relationship, and you know he was like, "I love you," and you know, like, you helped me and him get out, and they were intimate and stuff.
Crazy.
The second he got out, he was like, "Peace, fuck you."
Well, he's gotta go.
Yeah, he can't just hang around. Like, we're not getting a townhome somewhere.
Right.
Like this is.
You're gonna slow me down, toots. For real, you know.
Why wouldn't you do that in that situation?
It'd be so crazy to be on the run. Like you're just like out, and like you're supposed to be in prison, and they are looking for you.
I'm paranoid as it is.
I don't know what I like. I guess my plan would just to be like to shoplift all my food, so you're never like spending any money that's traceable to you. Take public transport as much as you can.
Everything is cash.
Yeah.
No cash. Public transport. I'm trying to think. What I'm like. I don't.
I would literally just like ride buses all day.
Because there's so much there's so many cameras and shit everywhere.
But there's not like constant facial recognition running on. So it's not like as soon as you're on camera it's reported to like someone.
You know what's funny? I looked at the top 10 most wanted FBI because they always have that list on their website. I'm like, I wouldn't recognize any of these people if they sat next to me on a fucking bus.
Exactly.
I would have no idea that this is the most dangerous man on the FBI's. Yeah. This man murdered 15 people.
Do you think about that kind of shit where you're like, you've probably interacted with people that have like killed people?
Well, they say there's a statistic like on average you pass like 4 murderers a day.
Crazy.
Like
4 a day.
You're passing. Now I don't know what the murderer means. Does it mean like somebody who just killed somebody, or somebody who's out there actively shanking people on the street?
Probably just one person.
Yeah. I think that's just one person.
Yeah, you killed one person, that's no big deal.
Hey, you know, things happen one person. You should have zigged, you should have zagged, and you get them, alright?
Yeah.
No, but, yeah, so they say you pass, it may not be 4, but they say you pass a certain amount every single day. I don't think about that, dude. And that's the problem what I have with TikTok, because it's starting to make me think, like, with these drones. Have you seen this drone shit?
I have.
It is so surprising to me. Thousands of drones are being seen. And the guy, the head of the, does the speeches for the government, the president on behalf, is like, we don't know 100% what the origins are of these or where they're from, but we know they're not a threat to national security. I'm like, whoa. You're telling me you don't know where they're from, but you know that they have no, like, they're literally flying
It's
in front
for
of people.
sure the government.
Oh, there's no fucking way that
They just don't want to tell us.
But what's funny about it is, like, you banned TikTok because you thought China was going to be stealing all of our data and, you know, reading all of our devices and stuff. But no, all of these drones that are just hovering over our major cities in America, all of a sudden they're just like, nah, this is like, what the fuck is this? And there's like floating orbs too, and they say they're like the size of cars.
They say, that's crazy. It's got to be the government for sure, and
There's
just
no
for
way.
some reason they don't want to tell us why they're doing it, or
Oh, absolutely.
I honestly think they just might be running like tests to see how people react to shit.
If you own a drone, you legally have to register it with the FAA.
Right.
Okay. And if you go above a certain limit, they'll have the cops at your fucking house because if they don't know if you reach, they're assuming that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing.
Of course, yeah.
So they'll have the cops at your house within, you know, because they can easily see that on a radar, you know, when they're looking around.
Right. However much control you think they have more.
Yeah.
And there's like more surveillance than you like think.
And what's crazy is this isn't just happening in like a city. Like it's like, oh, it's just happening in some town in New Jersey. Like in Phoenix, it's happening. There's videos all over.
It's all over.
It's in New Jersey, New York. It's in Pennsylvania and stuff. And I'm like, how is this not concerning to you at all? Like this is even a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I hope the aliens come and just fucking kill us all, dude. I'm over it.
I'm ready for them.
I'm ready for the alien.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Would you prefer aliens?
You know what's kind of funny? Do you ever think about that? Where like when you were a kid, they told you like, look, like global warming's a problem, but like it's not gonna happen in your lifetime. Like the world's gonna end one day, but it's not gonna happen in your lifetime. And then as we're getting older, it's like I kind of feel like it is. Like
it seems like it, right? With everything going on, it seems like we're heading to something that's not great.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But maybe not.
Would you think if you
maybe it's always felt that way?
No, I think if you lived, it's all perspective. If you lived in fucking, you know, Israel, Palestine, or whatever, you'd think this is the end fucking times or something. If you lived in the Ukraine, just a house that's getting bombarded by Russians or whatever in the middle of one, you would think this is the fucking apocalypse to me. I mean, if this was happening down the street from here, I'd be like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it does happen, I hope I'm just one of the first to die. I don't want to fight anybody. Apocalypse, wasteland, nonsense.
I remember talking to my mom one time. I was like, maybe we should get a gun, you know, just be like prepared or whatever. And she was like, honestly, if I'm ever at the point where I need a gun to like defend myself, I'm ready to die. Like, fuck all this.
Jesus. You mean some guy just tries to take your purse at a gas station? You're like, just kill me.
Oh, I mean, like, for sure she would just give up her purse.
Yeah.
You know, like, whatever.
That's such a weird mentality. Like,
No,
I gotta fight for my life. Just kill me.
Kind of, but I kind of get it.
What? How old is she?
She's like 65.
All right, I guess at that age. I'm 30. I wouldn't be like,
Right,
just
yeah,
fucking kill
you have a
me.
lot of life to live. That's a good point. But like, I get her point, where it's just like that's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to live with like having killed someone? Like, it's been a good life.
Yeah. I own guns, but the reason I always tell people is not the political reason of like to defend this.
It's because he's in a gang.
Yeah, it's because you know, you know? No, but it's never like you know. It's always like yes, to defend myself in case some asshole, you know. But you know, everybody goes on. It's like you know to defend us against you know. In case our government comes and whatever. I was like, I like them for two reasons. They're cool and I can.
Yeah,
like,
it's real. Fuck you.
Well, it's not that. Every time I tell these people, like, who are even not, they're like, they don't think people should own guns. They really can't say anything about that. I'm like, you can't argue that I like them, and you can't argue that I can.
Yeah.
It's when everybody starts going off onto these like ideologicals, like, no, it's about protecting your country and your property, and I'm like, yes,
you have the right to form a posse.
Oh, and here's the big thing. I don't want to get caught slipping. Yeah. People are crazy. Lots of people have fucking guns, and I don't want to be. You know, I don't have the mentality of your grandma where I'm just like, yeah, just fucking end it. You know, I have some things I want to do. Okay, I have a couple things. So I
think badass if you got in a shootout.
No, I don't want to ever use a fucking gun. I mean, I get worried a few times at Aguila's because, you know, it's never happened anything bad besides, you know, drunks being drunks, you know, just being loud and obnoxious. But there's been a few altercations.
Right.
And there were two. One was upstairs during the mic, so I really didn't get to see it, but apparently somebody had pulled out a gun.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, which is not surprising.
No, it's not surprising.
And like I said, and I'm not saying it's unsafe. It's very fun. But
well, I am. ma'am.
Bring a gun, please. Yeah.
I'll say it for you, Justin.
Say what's on my
That place is terrifying. I'm
It-
going there in like 40 minutes.
But you know, I saw that, and I don't know. It's one of those things where I would never. I don't even know what I would do in a situation, even because I don't carry.
Yeah.
So I'm not one of those
Right,
guys
yeah.
who carry a gun on me all the time. I don't think I'm prepared for it if it came. And I get there's probably gonna be people who are like, you know, like, well, that's fucking stupid. Why
didn't have one?
I don't know. Because I'd rather leave the situation than shoot it out. You know what I mean?
Always, dude. Like, I used to carry guns a lot, and I feel way safer without one in a weird way.
Back in the deal. Yeah.
Well, after my house got shot up, dude,
You're like, yeah.
I had like legit PTSD, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I fucking, dude, that was bad.
And you went and got a gun after that?
I had guns,
Oh, okay.
but like, they're not close enough to like shoot back or
Yeah.
whatever.
You have 36 pounds of weed in your closet. Like, you need a gun or two. You're gonna have a
I
gun
had
or two.
shotgun, a pistol, and a rifle, like a little. It wasn't even an AR. It's a 22.
Hey, those things can,
Yeah, it was sick. It
those
was a
things can
fun
still
gun.
kill people, all right? I've seen people
For
kill
sure.
people
I
with
mean, you
22s.
get hit with a couple 22s, you're not gonna like keep going.
But
or
an
whatever.
AK is much more intimidating.
AK's more intimidating, and AR's more intimidating.
Yeah, you
those
got-
little 22s, but they're fun. They're
Yeah.
You don't even need ear
You come out
protection.
with like one of those old like Derringer pistols from the old West. It holds 2 bullets. You're like, bah, like the old Victorian era.
Yeah.
Because I was watching this show that takes place in like Victorian era, and like the guns that they carried were like, especially women, they had to always carry the tiniest, like literally guns that are like this long, with that can hold a bullet or two. So you better be on point. If that guy's more than like 3 feet away from you, you're missing this guy. Like there's no way.
Yeah.
But they're like they're trying to like protect themselves with these tiny little things.
So
And let's be, I honestly, I'm like, I could probably keep going if I get shot. Unless I get shot in the eye, like right through my brain, all that, I could get shot in the shoulder.
Right,
She'll
sure.
take your shit. Like,
I remember this one night, like a couple nights after my house got shot up, I heard something outside and I just went out and shot at it. And fucking like a baby raccoon started crying and I felt so bad.
you killed a baby?
I don't think it died, probably, but because it like
What do you think it did? Go to the hospital and get?
I don't know, like it was like crying, so it wasn't.
Yeah,
like,
that's what happens when you get shot. I'd be crying too.
yeah, no, so it's not like I headshotted it, like.
That's worse than it would have been an instant death, rather than just
No,
like,
no, I think it was probably gonna be fine, dude. It kept crawling up the tree, you know.
Why did you have feel the need to shoot it?
I just couldn't. I just thought there was something there. I was just on meth and had
like a good idea.
PTSD, and there's something in the woods coming at me, dude.
I was on meth. It seemed like a good idea at the time. That seems
I just fucking heard something.
Did your neighbors ever call the police on you for just unloading?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, you never got to knock on the door, be like, "Hey, we gotta," or did they just not know where it came from?
Probably that. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Probably didn't know exactly what neighbor it was or whatever. I'm sure the cops got called a lot during that time of my life.
It is amazing you and I are both not in jail for the rest of our
Oh my
lives. Some of
God,
this
dude, I'm
stuff.
so lucky.
Like, you think about the time when you're like, if I got caught with 36 pounds of weed, my meth, and all my...
I had to call the cops when my house got shot up, and they were like, does this have anything to do with the like 40 weed plants in that greenhouse out there? I was like, I don't think so.
Unrelated, officer. Totally
They're
unrelated.
like, all right. And like weed's like semi-legal at this point.
Okay, this wasn't like full...
I think legalization had happened, but like I don't think you were allowed to just like have plants
Yeah.
per se, especially not as many as we had. But they weren't like they were pretty cool. They're like, your house just got shut up. We're not gonna like fuck you over on the weed.
Well, yeah, you're already dealing with enough shit.
Yeah. They're like, but you should really tell us who shot up your house, and they could tell I was like lying about that.
You're like, you just said it was, I had no idea, just
Yeah,
some
I
guy
don't
drove
know,
by.
yeah. Yeah, basically.
That is hilarious.
because I didn't want to, you know.
I could just see the cops looking at each other like,
sure.
dude, I don't care. We know you're like, they had something
All right,
to do with it.
yeah, that's what they were. They're like, all right,
Yeah.
talk to you later, buddy.
Generally, people just don't randomly.
And then they solved it, dude. There was a witness that saw the dude's license plate, and his driver ratted on him, and he went to prison for like 3 years.
You can't trust nobody. I mean, solve the.
I mean, she was gonna get charged for it if she didn't rat. So they fucked it. Like you can't take a car you own to shoot up somebody's house. That's a good like first rule. If you're gonna do any crime, the first thing you need to learn is how to steal a car. That's the first thing you need to learn. And how to leave your phone at home. You're fucked if you don't know where you're going without a phone. You need to know.
No. If you're gonna plan this, pre-plan your route, take it out, know the exits.
It's like really, this is so dumb. I even know this. I'm such an idiot. It's like a thing in like the gang underworld that like the only person that can really successfully do a hit in any given city is like the gang from that city, because like it's basically impossible to go to another city and like know where you're going or follow somebody without a phone. Like,
yeah, if you're not familiar with that city, you're gonna get lost.
Like, you have to be extremely familiar.
Yeah.
So, like, in the gang underworld, like, all the, like, if you're trying to, like, kill somebody that's in a different city than you, or that you don't, like, have control in, you have to, like, contract out to the local gang there.
Yeah, it's not just some random hitman from New York fly to Atlanta.
That's not, yeah, exactly.
That's what they see movies are like. Like, I need a guy killed in, Texas or something,
Yeah.
like, and he lives on the other side of the country, and he just gets a rental car.
Right.
He just gets a rental fucking car, and he's sitting like 3 houses down on the right from their house, just like staring with a stack of pictures of them. Like, if anybody just walked by, you're like, why does he have a dozen pictures of my fucking neighbor
Yeah.
sitting here? What, did you ever hear about that comic that was a killer?
Oh, I think he was a killer or maybe a rapist.
No, he could have raped, but I guess that's kind of low on the list of your serial killers.
Yes. I heard he was a rapist. That went city to city and they solved it by seeing the court schedule.
Yeah, so they obviously that would take a while to figure out. You get away with that because nobody's good at like when you get a serial rapist or a murder, you're not like what comics are in town. You're not putting that together.
It's crazy that even kind of
Who
figured
put that
it out.
together though? Yeah, because that would be even if you came once a year, that would still be extremely difficult to pinpoint you being at this club. Because how would they even go and figure out who's where? I mean, they're not going to open.
They're not. Yeah.
So I'm curious how he got.
Maybe that's probably exactly what it was. They're like, oh, somebody's killing people around here. Who was at the comedy club?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Comics are pieces of shit.
I know. They should be the first suspect.
Yeah, maybe he's just a good cop.
Who's in town? Was Chris D'Elia in town? We should check it out. We just give him a phone call.
You've never been to my open mic. I open every open mic. I'm like, this is an open mic. What does that mean? It means if you want to be the next Louis C.K., you too can sign up to perform. And that almost always bombs, right? You go, sorry. Was that a bad example? If you think you have what it takes to be the next Bill Cosby, you too can sign up.
What's crazy is like they say like nowadays the only way to like really get away with killing somebody is you just basically got to fly to a random city, shoot some random person, and then leave.
Well,
that'd be almost impossible.
That's like,
for them, that's just if you're a sadist psychopath.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
Not if you're an assassin.
That's like if you just want to kill somebody, not like you don't have a motive.
You have a motive. You're like,
your motive's like I just want to take somebody's
stab a guy in Baltimore today. I don't know.
Honestly, if you want to do that, I do this joke every year on 4th of July where I'm like, well, if you ever wanted to shoot a homeless guy, tonight's the night to do it.
It's so funny because my grandpa used to watch like those old detective shows from like the 40s, and they, like, because clues were a huge thing because they didn't have DNA evidence you had to figure out. But every episode I was like, it was so easy to murder. As long as you weren't there when the cop showed up with the gun, or the day before you didn't yell, I'm going to murder Patrick, yada yada,
dude,
you can most likely get away with it.
Dude, 300 years ago, murder was just a way you solved problems.
How easy?
You're like, I don't like that guy.
Oh yeah, he was around the corner. And you could just shake him and walk away. Nobody would know.
Or like, even like, dude, I wrote this paper on like the noble families in Italy in like the 1500s.
Oh god.
And dude, they were so nuts. They were having sword fights in the streets, sending poisoned like pigs to each other's house. Dude, like, somebody sent like a pig to some other family that was poisoned and killed like 15 of them. Or
Jesus Christ. That's diabolical. Because they killed and ate the pig?
I'm gonna end your bloodline.
Oh my fuck, you poison a pig.
Dude.
How do you figure out?
It's like a wedding gift. It's like some Game of Thrones shit.
It is. You poison the... That's where they get it. Like, all fantasy...
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed why everything is always in an English accent? Every fantasy is always... They all have English... There's no Americans being like, hey, my king.
You couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you couldn't believe it, but in a fantasy accent with English, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. These psychotic royals have done I feel like for every one good king or queen in human history, there's 10,000 horrible ones that do.
Or more.
Like, oh, she used to bathe in the blood of infants that were too poor because she thought it was good for her skin.
Yeah.
Or something like, and it's like terrible science. Like, you know, she would eat her fingernails because she heard it made longevity. And then there was one guy they would come in and be like, hey, I don't need all this food. You can give some of it back to the poor people. They're like, nah, this guy's gotta fucking go.
Right, kill him.
The incest. And so, you know what's funny about the fantasy thing too? Is how shitty the dwarves in every fantasy series are always Scottish.
Mm-hmm.
You always notice that? They always they're always
right.
Scottish.
That's a good point.
It's always, and I think that's because English people wrote this and wanted to just talk shit about, oh, look at all these small fucking red-headed, long-beard, disgusting fuck. Like, they're literally talking shit. That's why I had a problem with Harry Potter. The first one I saw it with the goblins.
Yeah.
They run the bank.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
I know what you were doing there, J.K. Simmons. They had like the Larry David hair, the long crook. It looked like my uncle. I gotta think of it like these guys.
they're goblins.
Like these goblins are the ones that control the banking system.
Great goblins.
It's beauty, and he looks like a Nemeshi Jew from like New York, like he was an accountant. So like,
What do you think about the theory that Jewish people are aliens that stole Black history?
that'd be great, wouldn't it?
It's a pretty cool theory.
I
think it's a cool theory.
I've been accosted by two different types of Jewish people.
Yeah.
I've been accosted by the Hasidic Jews in New York. I was there like in October, and I was just sitting outside a comedy club waiting for the mic to start.
Right.
And it was Sukkot, which is it's a Jewish holiday,
Uh-huh.
and there's just Jewish people walking around, Hasidic Jews, and he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, are you Jewish?" And I'm like, I'm half. And he's like, "Oh, was your mother, your father Jewish?" I'm like, "I know, but my father was Jewish." He goes, "You're not Jewish." I'm like, "Fuck you, dude! Like, you need all the help you can get right now." I don't know. And then the other one was I got yelled at by, like, I was walking down the street and they had one of the black Israelites out there
That's
saying
what I'm
how,
talking about.
because I think he saw me like talking with, because I talked to the Hasidic guy for he ended up being a nice guy.
Sure.
But I was talking for a little bit, so I think he thought that I was like part of the game. So when I was walking down the street later, he's like, "And you stole our stuff," and it's like he's giving me shit. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude.
When did Jewish people turn white?
Depends on which one you're talking about.
I'm just curious. I'm just asking questions here.
There's apparently like there's like Ethiopian Jews and there's some
Right. There's got to be black ones.
Yeah, well apparently the Ark of the Covenant is supposed to be an Ethiopian.
Wasn't Jesus supposed to be like pretty black?
He's probably Middle Eastern. Let's be honest.
You know.
That's what I always found funny. It's like there's generally people who think that the people in the Bible's names are John, Paul, Matthew,
like, come on,
and ancient Babylon.
Dude,
like,
even just like the depictions of him with the blonde hair, you're like,
it's
come
so
on,
funny.
dude.
I was like, find one person that's even similar to that right now in that area.
Impossible.
No one.
Impossible.
But god damn it, if he's not the most gorgeous, ripped fucking,
It's like a joke, kind of. You're like, who cares how he looks? Just draw him as gorgeous as possible. It's like Thor or whatever, you know?
I'm curious how much longer is that going to last? Like, how long do you think the Catholic... I know they have a lot of money, so they can ride out. But how much longer do you think, like, the Catholic Church is like an entity? Because I don't know many Catholics. Let alone Catholics that actually, like...
They say that, like, the wealth of the Roman Empire is in their basement.
Oh,
so.
most definitely. They have probably...
You know, like, who knows about all that? Vatican's a fucking country. Like, it's like an absurd amount of power, dude.
It has its own army, and it's a religious entity.
They're like, look, we can molest children. Deal with it.
They own... Apparently, they're one of the largest property owners on the planet.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because, of course, they have churches, houses all over.
And all that land was, like, given to them.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't buy
No, they came as like religious mercenaries when they were doing all their shit back in the day, and then they're just like, we're putting the church here, and I think you should pay us for it. We want to get this up and running and stuff. It's so weird because I was, it's you look at it, and I'm like, I'm not very versed in the Bible, but all these cloaks and smoke and all this, I don't think they mention that at all.
Yeah.
Like, why is the Pope got to dress like that? It makes no sense. I don't know why, like, all these weird cloaks.
Yeah, why couldn't he wear like a white pointy cap?
Just wear a
with
suit and
hood?
tie. Why does God need to have, like, you need to make sure he looks a certain way? It makes no sense to me. But I honestly, I have a few family members who are Catholic, but they're not like practicing Catholic. You know what I mean? They're not like, they go on the big holidays, the Ash Wednesday or whatever, Christmas, and do that. But it's so funny how, like, they probably, like you said, they probably have billions. So, and imagine what else they got.
Billions.
Not only that, they have secrets.
Secret.
They know some shit about some people, I feel like, in high ends of government.
You think Diddy and Epstein are bad, dude? Catholic Church, I'm just on top of it. If I could go back in time, I would go back and be the Pope. No, I'm just...
No, I go back to the time when popes could fuck. They used to be able to fuck.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't fuck anymore.
Oh, I'm sure they still fuck.
Oh, no, they do.
Yeah, I'm
Just not up.
You heard it here first. So.
Popes be fucking.
All right, buddy. Plug anything you want to plug.
Just we got the Say When open mic
Yeah,
every
come to the
Sunday.
Say When open
Every
mic.
Sunday.
That's a great plug.
Yeah.
People are always like, come to this show, and I'm like, there's no chance.
Yeah,
anybody's
at
gonna
the
hear this
bunker,
and come to the show. But somebody might hear this and come to the open mic.
Yeah, and then we're Cole and I are doing the shows at Lucy Sage and Sam. We'll be doing them a few times a month.
Are you booking those?
Yeah, me and him are.
So yeah, hit them up to get booked.
If you hit me up, I will never speak to you. Okay. But we book it. So we'll have those coming up. But besides that, yeah, that's just about it. So but I appreciate you having me on, bud.
Thanks,
This was so much
dude.
fun.
It's
This was
fun.
fun.
Oh, how did we do? An hour exactly. Look at that. I nailed that.
I feel like an hour.